Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in just a second. I see some people are jumping in. I'm Terri Britt. We're going to get started with our conversation this week. Hi, everyone. Let me go ahead and start the recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. I'm so glad you guys are here. Just a little bit of heads up, if you don't know how to use everything as far as the technical aspect, because every time I get on here, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to do this correctly? If you want to raise your hand as I open it for questions, you'll see down at the bottom, if you move your cursor, there is a little thing that says reactions. At least it is this way on my computer. You can click it and you'll see a bar that says raise your hand, and then you'll unmute yourself. So are you guys okay with hearing me right now? Raise your hand if you are. Yay! Okay, we'll give it another second. So while we're waiting on people to jump in, I want to invite you right now to just take a moment and do some breathing. I want to invite you to close your eyes. Take a moment and bring in some air through your nose, really feel it going through your head and then down into your lungs and all throughout your body, and then do a slow release as you're doing this. I'm breathing in, holding it, and then a slow release through your mouth. And I want to invite you to do that so you can start getting grounded to be in this space. So I want to say hey to Victoria, and who else is on here? Nicole and Sally and Ilka. I love that name. Where are you from, Ilka? And then we'll get going in just another few seconds. So again, we're breathing, taking a few moments to just take a few breaths in. And while you're doing this, as you're breathing in and we're getting grounded, just to be in this space and to be fully present, I want you to imagine that the crown of your head is opening up. This is where we connect to our higher selves and to the universe, to God. And imagine as you're doing that, that there is light flooding in through the crown of your head and coming into your body. I call this grounding in God's light. So I want you to imagine that it's going all the way to your toes, into your fingertips, really allowing the energy to flood all the way through you so you get fully present. If you find right now while you're doing this that you're thinking about other things that need to be done, just know that if your heart has called you here, that is actually your soul, which is a part of God, speaking to you. So I want to invite you right now to just imagine that anything that is got you bogged down, or any shoulds that you should be doing, I want to invite you right now to maybe even visualize putting them in a big rose. Imagine this giant rose that doesn't look like a vacuum cleaner, but acts as a vacuum cleaner. And I want you to just imagine that all the energy that you're holding on to is going into that rose. So for those of you who are joining us right now, welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to just invite you to take a moment and do some breathing as we're letting people jump on. We're going to make use of this time to get grounded. If you want to just take some breaths in through your nose and hold it, and then release through your mouth, and let that energy flood throughout your whole being. Okay? Just allow the energy to flood through. So while we're in this space, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to invite you to just close your eyes as you're letting this energy flood through, and as you're breathing, and let's set an intention for today. I want to invite you to now bring in the light of compassion. So I want you to just call it in from the universe, call it into the crown of your head, imagining the crown of your head opened up, and you're saying, yes, I give myself permission to bring in compassion for myself, because you're probably compassionate towards most people, but if I were to guess, you're not as compassionate as you need to be for yourself. So let that energy flood in for a moment, breathing into it with the intention that today we are moving into compassion. We're moving into a shift in consciousness about how we see ourselves, because this is what it means to own our worth, and this is what it means to really step into your calling as a woman leader of love. Okay, feeling that energy, breathing it all the way to your toes, into your fingertips. Woohoo! I love energy. And even allowing it to pour over into your energy field around you. Breathing in. Releasing. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. And releasing. Already you can come back into this space. So our whole mission on these Own Your Worth Wednesdays is to really help you open up and be in a receptive state so that you get guidance, that you feel nurtured, that you feel loved, that you feel connected with yourself on a deep, deep level and with God and the universe, whatever that might look like for you. Okay. This is not about religion, but whatever that is for you. So with that, one of the things that I see that is the hardest to really master is compassion for ourselves, because we live in a society that says punishment is the way. If you don't do it right, if you don't get it right, then you get punished. So in our minds, we have these standards about how we think we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to act. And even though we may, in our conscious minds, think, well, I'm okay and I'm kind to myself, our subconscious minds may be telling us otherwise. And so we find ourselves getting hard on ourselves. Last week, I know that Kiki was in with us, and she was talking, I think it was Kiki that said this, I could be wrong, but she mentioned that she felt like she should be in a better place, that she was doing all of these courses, I think, and practicing all of these things on a daily basis, whatever her ritual was, I can't remember, but she'd done a lot of inner work, but she wasn't where she thought she needed to be. I mean, how many of us, can anybody relate to that? Do you ever judge yourself like, well, I'm supposed to be further along? And so what that tells me is that, yes, I'm seeing a thumbs up there. Yes. I mean, I've done that to myself so many times where I felt like, oh, I should be doing better. I should be further along. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I've even had my husband at times say to me, you've been doing this for how many years? And you're being a witch right now. He didn't really use that word. And so I had to really take a look at it one of the times he said that to me. And I realized that, of course, if I was lashing out, I was in pain. When we're lashing out, when we're struggling, when we're being short or not speaking our truths, or it's coming out very abrasively, it's because we're hurting on the inside. Okay, we're hurting. For me, I used to think of myself as a witch with a B. And so because I had that and I was holding that vibration, I would emit that, and then that's what he mirrored to me, that this is what you look like, Terri. And I realized that there was a part of me that said, oh, I should be further along than this. I shouldn't be in my humanness. But we are human, right? We are absolutely human. And so for us to judge ourselves and not have compassion for ourselves is completely defeating the purpose of walking a spiritual path. We want to have compassion. So has anyone ever felt that way, that you just felt like, gosh, nobody has compassion for me? Anybody? You can raise your hands if you've ever felt that, where you feel like, oh my goodness, I just, I want to feel kind and gentle to myself, but it's not being revealed to me in my daily life. And then you beat yourself up that much harder. So the key is that you've got to be the one who makes the decision to hold the vibration of compassion. Now, what does that look like? For me, it was when I started talking to the little girl inside of me and asking her, what's hurting? What's causing you to lash out? What's the pain that's going on inside of you? And instead of saying, well, you shouldn't do that, or why are you doing that? Okay, because we often tend to do that, is that I would look at her in a way that I wanted to be treated. I wanted someone to say to me, boy, you must really be hurting right now. I really get that you're in pain. And this is why you're lashing out, or this is why you're being resistant, or this is why you're being aloof. We all have our ways of dealing with pain. So when we do that, when we judge ourselves that way, we're holding the energy of punishment. But when we look at that little kid inside of us and say, wow, I really get that you're in pain. And we take that little kid up in our arms and tell her that we love her, tell her that we're sorry she's hurting, then by doing so, we start creating that connection within of compassion and kindness. And then now we're feeling worthy of having that compassion and kindness be mirrored back to us. The more we do this, the more we get anchored, then the more it's going to show up in our lives. So I want you to think about that for a moment. Are you being compassionate to yourself? If you are being hard on yourself, if you are saying, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I need to be doing this, then what you're doing is you're actually sending out punishment energy. You're sending out guilt energy. You're holding a space of I should be, which is guilt. And then because you're holding guilt, then what will be mirrored back to you is a sense of punishment. So you got to think about whatever I'm emitting is what's going to be mirrored back to me. What is the natural consequence? If I'm holding the energy of being hard on myself, then that's what's going to be mirrored back to me. But if we hold the energy of compassion for ourselves and start building that relationship with that little kid inside of us, being kind and gentle, being nurturing, then we start holding the vibration that this is what I'm worthy of. And then we attract that to us. We open up to receive more compassion in our lives. So I want you to, again, think about, are you being hard on yourself in any way? Are you judging your journey and thinking I should be further along? Okay, how many of you can say that? Are you hard on yourself? Yes, I saw a hand go up. Are you judging yourself with how you think you should be with other people, that you should be kinder and gentler to everyone else? Like you're having compassion for them, but you're not having it for yourself. Can you relate? That you can think about what you need to be doing for everyone else, but you're not doing it for yourself. So our goal is to get into that compassionate state, to make that a daily commitment of, what do I need right now to feel nurtured? What do I need to be kind and gentle to myself? Okay, we want to get into that place on a daily basis, because just think about this. This is the benefit. So when you start getting more compassionate towards yourself, then you think you've got compassion towards other people. But when you do it for yourself first and you really clear out the judgments, then what happens is that where maybe you have judged yourself in the past about a specific thing in your life, maybe you're a procrastinator, okay? And maybe you've judged yourself about being a procrastinator instead of saying, well, maybe that's my divine timing. Maybe I'm not like everybody else's timing. So you start having compassion for yourself. And now you look at someone else who's a procrastinator and you think, wow, well, maybe they're like I am. Maybe they're in fear and I can have compassion for that. Or maybe they're just on divine timing and instead of listening to everybody else's timing. So your consciousness shifts not only towards yourself, but towards the people around you. And I tell you, this was a big one for me with my children and my partners, my late husband and my husband now. Holy crap, because I was the first to be able to point my finger at them and say, you're doing this and you're doing that, instead of seeing that maybe they were suffering, maybe they had a hard time, and I couldn't have compassion for them because I didn't give myself a break. I didn't have compassion for myself. But when you start doing this for yourself, not only are you holding the vibration of compassion so that it can be mirrored to you, but now you start walking as that example. And we look at our planet right now, right? There's so much judgment. There's so much blame. There's so much you against me, instead of seeing, well, wow, your beliefs are different than mine. But maybe there's something that really hurts inside of you for you to be so staunch on your beliefs. Maybe there's some past programming that has been handed down through your family that you're probably really, really, really hurting. And this is why you are so staunch, or maybe you're in extreme fear. Maybe you're in protective mode. And when you see that and you come from the eyes of compassion, which I think are the eyes of God, because you've been looking at this within yourself, now there's this judgment that might have been there in the past starts dissipating. Okay, it starts dwindling down. And now you're looking at the world through the eyes of love and compassion. I'll never forget years ago, before I even started talking to my inner child, but I was meditating one day and she showed up. But prior to that, I saw my husband, my late husband. We were having breakfast and I was sitting there just really just rapping at him. And all of a sudden I saw him. I flashed in my mind and saw him as this little boy. And the little boy said, please stop. Please stop. I can't take anymore. I'm having such a hard time. And it sucked the air out of me. I mean, it just really got my attention. And then it was then after that, I don't know how much longer, but that's when little Terri showed up when I was meditating on unconditional love. When we can see someone with those eyes, we become a messenger of love. That's when we become that woman leader of love, when we can no longer meet them in a battle, but instead we hold a high vibration of love and compassion. And then it gives them the opportunity to rise and meet us. See, when we're seeing with eyes of judgment towards ourselves, we have a battle within ourselves. And then we see other people and we might have a battle with them, right? So you have this resistance. But when you choose the eyes of compassion for yourself, you raise your vibration, and now you can't have a battle. There's no battle. You just set the tone and the example for them to rise and meet you in a state of compassion. Isn't that cool? I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And when you think about it, and if we all came together to do this, right? If we all of us women came to do this, and we started doing it in our families and with our friendships and our workplaces, because we women, we tend to have compassion for everyone else, but we don't have it for ourselves. So people watch our examples and they think they're getting all the compassion now, but then when they grow up, where'd the compassion go, right? Where did it go? They're not having it for themselves because they've watched us and learned. So now we have the opportunity to break the paradigm. We have the opportunity to break the cycle and become that compassionate, loving example so that other people can find this within themselves. So that's what our meditation is going to be today. We're going to go into looking at where we're being called to have more compassion in ourselves. We're going to look at our inner child and say, I'm sorry you're hurting. And what do you need from me to feel nurtured, to have some kindness and gentleness in your life? Okay, so we're going to do this. And hopefully when you come through this, you're going to get a real perspective on what you can do to start shifting your daily life into more compassion. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see if I got some people on here who, okay, so Victoria says, yes, I don't get much compassion. Sometimes I feel I'm on my own. And Trinitius, is that how you say that, Trinitius? I've always wondered that. Says, yes, I'm hard on myself. So it's time to stop. It's time to stop being hard, girls, gals, ladies. It's time to stop, because we all deserve better. And so does the world, right? So I want to invite you right now to close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose. Hold it and release. Let's do that again. Take another deep breath. Hold it and release. I want to invite you right now to imagine that you're sitting in a garden and you're swinging on this little chair swing. You're watching the birds, you're watching the trees, you're feeling the light breeze. It feels so beautiful. The sky is as blue as can be. And running up to you is the little girl inside of you. And if there are any men, it's the little boy inside of you. Bring that energy or that little being up onto the swing with you. You can even have her sit on your lap. And now ask her, where do you feel I'm being hard on you? And you may get a vision, you may hear, you may feel, you may have a knowingness. We all have different experiences, whatever way works for you. So ask, where am I being hard on you? And if you get a picture and you don't understand it, you can even think of it as a photo album, and you flip the picture and you see another picture that gives more explanation. And if you find yourself grasping, open up your crown, breathe. We're connecting to our higher selves, going into a state of surrender. So where am I being hard on you? And then ask, what do you need from me that will feel like compassion? What do you need from me? What would that look like? If she says, well, I need more love, that's beautiful, but that's generic. I want you to get a specific. What do you need from me to have more compassion, to feel like I'm being kind and gentle to you? So ask her that. Give me something specific. And then I want you to check in with yourself and ask, am I resistant to this? Does this feel weird to me? If I were to do what she says she needs, is there a belief that I'm holding on to that says, no, I can't do this? Is there resistance to feeling that kind of love and nurturing? Just check in with yourself. And if you're feeling any kind of resistance or belief or anything like that, I want you to imagine that you see a giant rose and you put that energy into the rose. Whatever it is. I think of the rose as the head of it like a vacuum cleaner, and you can just say, I release this energy. Because if it's something that I'm holding on to, if it's a belief that says, no, I shouldn't do this for myself, then you're holding a belief of punishment. And that's not truth. That's not love. So put all that energy in that rose. And then we're going to send that rose out into the universe and blow it up like confetti. We're sending it back with love. And now we're going to call in whatever it is, whatever that sense of compassion is that that little girl inside of you is wanting to experience. So is she saying, I need to breathe more? I need you to be not so hard on me by giving me some downtime. Whatever it is, I want you to put a word to it, the feeling. Okay, what is the feeling? Of course, we're looking at compassion, but go deeper than that even. What would that compassion feel like? So I want you to feel that feeling and imagine that energy is just pouring into your body, into the crown of your head. And we're filling up that space where we released energy, because anytime we release energy, we want to fill up the space. So bring in the energy to fill up your whole being. And what is that feeling? Is that little girl inside of you when you see yourself taking action with what she asked you to do and there's no resistance? Does she feel so connected to you? Does she feel really nurtured and loved? Does she feel more playful? Does she feel freer? Does she have more trust? Trust that she's going to be okay and that you're not going to be hard on her. What is that feeling? And then I want you to imagine a dial in front of you and turn that dial for this feeling up to 100%. And as you turn it up, just say, yes, yes, yes. I give myself permission to feel this, to be in this compassionate state, to take action starting today with this new way of being. Yes, 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 yes. Just feel that energy all the way to your toes, to your fingertips, to the top of your head. Feel the energy flooding through you. Just saying, yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Breathing into this. Breathing in. Feels really good. I want you to visualize that little kid inside of you and see how she's feeling right now. Is she jumping up and down in your mind? Is she really happy because you're being kind to her in this moment? And there may be a sense of, is she completely trusting you? And if she's not, I want you to just tell her, I'm committed to you right now in this moment, to living in a state of compassion for you. And in those moments that I forget, I'm going to have compassion for myself and forgive myself. And I'm going to get right back on this path of compassion. So reassure her right now. Breathing into this. So if you're having a hard time feeling love towards this little girl, feeling excited about taking care of her and loving her this way, I want you to recognize that that is old programming, that there's probably some beliefs in there that say, I'm bad, or I'm not worthy of this love, or maybe that little child didn't feel seen, heard, and valued in her childhood. And so she's taken on that that's the way it's supposed to be. So it's hard to have compassion for her. I want you to know that that's okay if that's where you are right now. That as you continue to start building this relationship, the compassion will come. It's about committing to this. So I want you to imagine wherever you are with this right now, with that little girl, I want you to just hold her in your arms and tell her, I am committed to loving you and to having compassion for you. Breathing in and release. Breathing in again. And release. Let's come back into the space. So I noticed as I was guiding you through that Trinitius, I hope I'm saying that right, said, I can't feel it. That's the problem. I can't feel authentic love for her. And then she says, thank you. I feel a shift in acceptance from her. We get so bogged down with beliefs in our subconscious mind. I've said this before, and I'll probably say it every time. Our subconscious mind runs 95% of our life, and we don't even know that the beliefs are there. So often we carry these deep-seated beliefs that I am bad and I can't be seen and I can't be heard, that will keep us from acknowledging that little kid. I remember years ago, I was working with this woman and was trying to bring that into her. And for weeks, she could not see this little girl. And then finally one day she said, Terri, it's like she's sitting underneath your desk. And I said, well, what's she afraid of? What she's so afraid of that she won't come out to you. And when she checked in with herself, she says, she's afraid that I'm going to be really hard on her. She doesn't feel safe with me. Interesting, huh? Really interesting when you look at it from that perspective. So the more that we can love that little kid, the more that we can nurture her, then the more she's going to feel safe. You know, I teach all this in my Worthiness Quotient program. I don't know if you guys have seen the program, but I take you through all these steps of really going in and look at those beliefs that are keeping you from loving yourself and nurturing yourself, and the beliefs that maybe you say where I'm bad or I'm wrong for being who I am, because those are stifling. But right now, the focus is on, I want to make you safe. And I'm going to do everything I can. And so what happens is that I know you said, I can't feel it. That's the problem. I can't feel authentic love to her. Yes, Trinity says safe. Yes, that's it. So when we are not feeling safe, that little kid is going to run and hide. Okay, this is why so many of us don't step into our life purpose. This is so many reasons why we don't have thriving relationships, is because there's this deep need to feel safe. And so we give up who we are, hoping that we'll please others. Okay, we want them to love us so we'll feel safe. But if we can build that relationship within us and be that divine parent and know that when we're not feeling that connection, it's because she's hiding, and that if we'll come from a space as a woman leader of love and embrace her and pick her up and be kind and gentle to her, then she's going to start feeling safe. So that's our goal, right? Is we want to help her feel safe. So who has a question? If you want to ask a question and get on here with me on camera, you'll go move your cursor and you'll go down to the bottom of, you'll see as you move it, there's a menu bar that goes across. You'll see a little face. Mine is over to the right. It says reactions. If you click on that, then a bar will pop up and it says raise your hand. So if you would like to come on and ask me a question, raise your hand and I will see who pops up here. See if anybody is going to be that courageous person to get on here and ask questions. Let's see. Nobody so far. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's Bettina. So I'm going to ask you to unmute, Bettina. You'll see on the, okay, there you are.
Hello, Terri.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Yes, excuse me, you gave me some work to do this week, but it's so overwhelming my life at the moment. I started to do it, to talk with a little girl and to ask her this question, why do you feel so bad? And while writing down, I came until 4 or 5 things, and I started to laugh suddenly, seeing this is not me. I mean, this is the little girl who is afraid of, like, I feel bad. The first really terrible thing, which you helped me through the course of the Worthiness Quotient, you helped me to finally this punishing idea of a punishing God. In you, I found for the first time in my life after 58 years, yes, I wrote you also because it was so amazing to finally know that not all the difficulties in my life are like a punishment because I'm not well. And so when I ask my little girl what she needs, I was born very sensitive and nobody understands me. So I became hard. I had it all the time. They told me, be strong, you are like too fable, too, how you say, too vulnerable for this world. And the only, I was all the time, I remember 2 years old, 1.5 year old already, I was looking for softness and also smiles and patience, but even not that, the softness. Everything was so hard around me and everybody told me to be hard. It was terrible. And the only thing that gave me softness was a cloth to clean the floor. That was I had not a little doll or something, but I had this cloth. That was the only soft thing I could find to calm me down and to come in sleep and all these things. And also I became very hard to myself, very, very hard. I see it also. It's like always never giving up, always, even if I feel like, oh, no, I still, because I still need, I still need it. And now finally I'm really, this is really that becomes more and more clearing. It becomes so clear that once it's clear, it's like, oh yes, this little child at that moment, I could not help her. I could not give safety. But now I'm this adult woman. And that can really, the moment it comes in my mind, it's so beautiful. It's so liberating. And I thank you very, very much. Even if I didn't really done totally the work, I will, at the moment I'm very, very busy, but just to see it and to see I'm terrified about my own that I'm bad, because one of the things is because I know as a child I saw all the lies between the adults around me, and I saw them and I showed at them, and then they punished me. They put me in the cellar and everything in the dark, because a little girl, it's not appropriate that she talks to adults and that she see what the adults are hiding. So, and that made that it's only now, I'm now 59 and a little bit, that finally I've done a fasting of 36 days. And in these 36 days, my mind has become clear again. Clear, yeah. like when I was a child. And luckily it's now with me, and I'm still living a really very complicated challenges, but now I know it's not God punishing me, and that makes so much difference for me anyway, being born Catholic. No, that's not no, Bettina. It's not you. It's not your fault. Don't worry. You are so loved. I know I'm me, and we all of us are expressions of the purest love. And since this fasting, I found something in me, yes, self-love finally, which made that all the challenges are like flowing. They're still in my mind, there's still effect, but energetically, I can stay in this relax and stay, okay, I know God loves me so, so much. I can love me because we are God ourselves. So it's self-love, and it's so awesome. Liberating and so wow. And I thank you so, Terri, that you give this opportunity even free, because I'm at the moment, I'm really, money is not flowing. So that you give the opportunity. All life, thanks you for that. By my mouth. Thank you.
I did want to say one thing. So just because as I'm listening, because I heard you say it's really busy right now. And I'm hearing my husband say this a lot right now because I'm really busy. Make sure that the words you are speaking are kind and gentle, okay? Because not only is it talking to the little kid inside of us, but I hear him all the time saying, I'm so busy. There's so much to do. I just can't get it all done. Well, then you're saying it, you're feeling it with this overwhelm. So there's this heightened feeling, this vibration of overwhelm. So then more gets created. So if you can stay in a state of gratitude, just like you did, you expressed a lot of gratitude, but even when all these things are happening, like you said, a lot of it's rolling off. That's amazing. I'm not standing up and doing a cheer. Yay for me, because look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. We have to celebrate that, right? We have to go, yes, look what I did. I've cleared so much that I am in this space. And then go back to your worthiness quotient course. When you do get triggered, remember to see the gift. Instead of feeling like a victim, you feel like, okay, I am the co-creator of my life, and if it's showing up and it's affecting me, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
Show me where I'm still holding on to a
Yeah.
belief that's not my truth, right? So remember to do that. But thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Yeah, and thank you for clarifying that, like you say, with the husband and the busy, busy, because I hear it myself say, and it's true. I was not conscious about that. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay, I'm going to ask you to unmute and I mean
Yes.
to mute yourself,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to lower your hand. Okay. And then I saw over here that Daniela, let me find you up here, Daniela. She says she can't raise the hand. Oh, there you are, Daniela. So Daniela, I am going to ask you to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I've done. Hi, Terri.
Hi, are you in Germany?
Yes, right. And if I put the button reaction, I don't have this choice to raise the hand. I don't know why.
It may be somewhere else because it could be the version you have. So you can look at it later and try to explore and see if you can find it. But how can I help you?
Okay. So the last few months, I worked a lot on my self-love and healing inner child work. And I've also done your worthiness program. I loved it. Yeah, thank you. And so I'm continually rising in my consciousness. And you know, the men I meet, I have the feeling they are on a totally different page. So they are not that conscious. They are weak, you know, they are weak, and they don't go after a woman, you know, they don't want to do the effort.
Yeah. And so what I would say to you, if that's what you're still attracting, then get really clear on what you want to create. Okay. So what is it? What does that relationship look like? And then go down, put it in bullets, and then go down each of the bullets and ask, do I believe I can have this, or is there something in the way? Is there resistance? So do that. And then what is the feeling that you want to create, in that relationship, and start holding that and giving gratitude.
I think gratitude is a good point. I've done this to get clear what I'm really looking for, but maybe because this guy didn't show up before, it's hard to believe that these guys are out there, you know.
Hey, let me tell you, I think you've probably heard my story if you've heard my worthiness quotient stuff. Oh, somebody just trying to get in. Hey, Janie. So when I was trying to, with my late husband, he had prostate cancer. Intimacy was really difficult. So I was holding the vision that we would have a passionate relationship. But instead of focusing on trying to fix him, I focused on myself. And I looked at where I was blocking passion, because that's what I wanted in the relationship, because we had everything else, but I just felt like that was a little bit depleted in our relationship. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm just talking about passion for life, right? So, and sex is good too. Just so we're clear. Let's just validate that. But so I continued to look at where am I blocked with passion, and I just kept clearing it and clearing it and clearing it, looking at my beliefs, going into my subconscious mind. And then the last 6 weeks of his life, we started taking dance lessons together, and the passion was being ignited again. It was really cool. And then he died. Okay, he dropped dead. Well, the day after he died, my husband now, who I didn't even know, his daughter was on my daughter's dance team, and I'd say hi to him. He shows up at my doorstep and said, let me support you through this, because his wife had killed herself 5 years prior. So he knew what I was going through to be a single parent. Well, when he showed up, passion arrived. So I was holding the vision that I would have a passionate relationship with my husband. I didn't even think to put Steve's name on it, my late husband. I just kept visualizing myself having a passionate relationship and feeling very alive. Well, he dies and passion arrived. Now, if he hadn't have passed, I know it was his time to go. He was ready to go. But I think we would have found that passion because we were already starting to create it again, because we'd had it in the beginning, but then it dissipated because it was a different kind of passion. This was a passion where we were really connecting on a deeper heart level. So look at where you are allowing yourself, Daniela. Are you allowing passion in? If that's part of it, what is it that you're wanting? If you're wanting somebody who has depth, then you want to make sure that's a bullet point. If you're wanting someone who's on a spiritual journey, who will be in this awakening with you, you know, put that on there too. And then make sure that when you meet someone, you start that conversation. Don't wait on them, because some people are a little bit shy, right? And you're the woman leader of love. So you may be the one who has to guide the way. I know that in my late husband, and with my husband now, I have been the leader. I have been the one who has guided the whole direction when it comes to the kind of depth and intimacy in my marriage. So you may have to be that person, but so you might have to start that conversation.
That's a good point. And with grateful, you mean grateful that a man is already in my life and that I already have this beautiful relationship?
Yes, 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 do that. Okay. So feel it, whatever it would look, you know, whatever that looks like. There's a good book that was written by a friend of mine, Ariel Ford. It's called The Soulmate Secret. You might want to read that. Okay. And how she manifested her husband now of many, many years. So she's a New York Times bestselling author. I think it's New York Times, but anyway, that's called The Soulmate Secret. Very easy, simple read, but she will explain to you what she did and how she manifested her husband. And they're very, very happily married, and they have a wonderfully spiritual, deep relationship. So you might want to read that book, something to kind of get that energy going there. Because I know for me, when I was looking at passion, I was reading romance novels. Okay. And it was like, woo, yeah, I want some of that. You know, I want passion in all the areas of my life, but that's what I was reading. And then that's what showed up.
Yeah, that makes sense to go in that feeling. Yeah.
So you're getting the feeling. So when you're reading it, you know, you're feeling it. You're feeling like, what would that look like for you? And it's really about being in a state of not want, because when you're in want, you're grasping. Okay. So you want to be in a state of trust. You want to be in a state of, okay, I'm here and I know that divine timing is perfect. I know that it's going to show up right when I'm ready to receive it. And if you find yourself grasping, that's when you go to little Daniela, little Terri too, but that's when you go to little Daniela and you ask her, what do you need from me to feel loved that you're needing so badly for a man to fill you up?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also Daniela, can I read your energy just real fast?
Yeah.
Okay, so in your heart chakra, there's like this, I see plugs a lot. So there's a plug in the back of your heart. And can I start pulling that out and see what's underneath there?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So I want you to just sit there and breathe and let me pull this out and see what's back there. So when I pull that energy out, I see your little inner child with tears, and she's crying. And it's almost like she's saying, it's never going to be my turn. Okay. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, but that's what I see she's feeling. So if she's feeling like she can't have that kind of connection, then she's going to feel like it's never going to be my turn. So that gives you guidance right there that you need to build even more connection with her. More, how do I love you more today? What do I need to do for you? And giving her permission to have a relationship that adores her, because it feels like she doesn't know. It just feels like there's grief there. And she needs to know that she has permission to receive that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in our culture, everybody else gets to receive and we have to come last. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost like that kind of belief that's going on. It feels like that she's saying, when is it going to be my turn? You have to give her permission to have her turn.
Yeah, I see. Maybe that makes sense because my parents didn't take that much attention because they were quite busy when I was a child. Maybe that's why. But it's really unconscious.
Totally unconscious.
Yeah.
Totally. So that's why when I see it and I see her and I see the sadness is, you know, maybe if there's grief there, if you feel any grief from your parents not giving you the attention you needed, allow that to come up. Okay. Allow it. You might want to write it and say, you know, what do I feel sad about? And then release it and say, okay, but that's not who I am now. So a lot of times the energy can get stuck in our bodies. And so by giving it permission to come up and out, then we can release it and move into that higher vibration so we can really receive what we're looking for. Make sense?
Yeah, totally. I will do a meditation about it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Terri.
Yeah, so do a meditation about it. Yeah,
I
do a meditation. Go into
I do an inner child healing meditation.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, just go in and talk to her and really have that healing. And so let me just close this up right now. I'm not going to put the plug back in, but I see her. So what I want you to visualize is that she's coming out and she's crawling up on your lap. Okay.
Yeah.
And I also see that when, oh, this is good. This is really good what I'm seeing right here. And this is going to help. So what I see is that when you didn't get the attention as a child, okay,
yeah,
and your parents were so busy, your inner child took on a belief that there was something wrong with you.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So what I'm seeing is when I'm seeing the heart chakra, there's black ooze coming out. There's guilt. Okay, so the guilt energy is there's something wrong, oh, and there's shame too. There's guilt. There's shame and guilt. There's something wrong with me, or I've done something wrong, and this is why I don't get attention. Okay, so now you clear that out and you realize, no, there's nothing wrong with you. This was your parents' lack. This was them not being able to be present. This was them in their own pain and suffering. It had nothing to do with you, but as a child, you took on that belief, right?
Yes.
So know now that, you know, you don't have to wait. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's the kind of conversations you want to start having with her. This is what I love about you. This is what I see is so special about you. So really go into a state of acknowledgement to her. And then that way she can start feeling loved and acknowledged, adored, really create that daily relationship with her. If you're in the car and she's sitting next to you in the car in your mind, you have conversations with her. I mean, you want to really build that so that she feels safe. She knows she's loved. You're being the woman leader of love. You're holding a vibration that she is enough, that she's worthy. It's her turn, because by just connecting with her, you're projecting to her, it's your turn. Okay. Yeah. And so by doing all of this, then you can receive that man. And it might happen very quickly just by us shifting some of this energy. But there may be more work to do. And that's going to be, you know, for you to just build that relationship. And if it takes a little time, it's because that's what your soul wants, is to build that loving relationship of acknowledgement from you towards that inner child. Does it make sense?
Yes, totally. Okay. Thank you so much, Terri.
You're welcome. If you will mute yourself, that would be awesome. Let me, okay, your hand was never up. Okay, I've got one, I'll do one more quick one. So I'm gonna ask Nicole to unmute.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Where are you from?
So, I am from Switzerland.
So we got Switzerland and we got Germany. I wonder.
Yes.
That's awesome. Awesome, Nicole. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. How can I help you?
Thank you. So since a couple of months, I noticed that it happens to me quite a lot when I meditate, or for example, when I'm reading a spiritual book, I'm focusing on a topic that I suddenly get a huge fatigue. When I'm reading a book, then I need to put it away, and I just read probably 2 pages or 5 pages. I need to put it away and I have to go to sleep for half an hour probably. And that just happened again when we did the meditation together. I was like, this huge fatigue came and I could still hear you very well. I was following you, but I was almost falling asleep, and then I know I get dizzy, and my thoughts are spinning around. I can no longer focus on what you're saying, but still I'm hearing you. I'm just wondering, why do I always get this immense fatigue during something I like? I want to do. I want to do this meditation. I want to follow you, but something just takes me off and I don't know what it is.
I get that. Okay, so what I would invite you to do is right now I want you to visualize little Nicole. Okay, so I want you to visualize her and I want you to ask her, are you in resistance to expanding more? And just get a yes or a no.
A yes.
Okay, that's so. So ask her why. Say, what scares you about expanding? So just go back and ask her that question. What scares you about expanding?
That she cannot control it. It's kind of out of her control, this expansion.
Okay, so one more thing, go back. Ask her, why does she need to control it?
It has to do something with the outcome, but I don't get more.
That's okay. So this is what we do. We go deeper. So let's finish this up. So I want you to go back and say, so what is the outcome? What scares you about the outcome?
That it could go wrong or cause something bad.
Oh, and has that ever happened to you in your life?
I have the feeling that in past lives, yes, a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So let me just kind of look at your energy for a second and see what I get for you, what would be the best thing for you to do right now. So what I'm seeing is to let her, to write to her, like what we just did. Okay, so write to her and say, gosh, I really get that you're in resistance, because we now know there's resistance, right? That's why you're leaving. That answers your question, because it almost feels like you're leaving your body. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I see, is that it's almost like you're flying out of your body.
Yeah.
When you go to bed at night, we can go off into the astral.
It feels like kind of, just before I go, I really fall asleep. I'm in this, it feels like this state. Yeah.
So we know she's resistant. She's resistant to expanding, and she's afraid of the outcome, right? So you know all this. So sit down and write to her and say, I really get that you're afraid, and that you're scared, and that you don't know what expansion looks like, and you're afraid of the other side. Okay, just say all that, right? And then start telling her, but you know what? You're safe, because I've got you. I'm here with you. And say, why don't you tell me about your feelings, what's going on? And then switch the pen to your other hand. It's going to look like a scratch. And let her get all of her stuff out. Because it's when it stays in that it becomes this emotional chaos, right? But when we give voice to it, we acknowledge it, okay, so you want to let it all come out. And then recognize that the next time you do that, if you do it again, you say, oh, I can see I'm trying to leave my body again. I'm trying to run, right? Is what it is. Like, get me out of here. So that's when you pull up the little girl on your lap again and you say, you're safe. I've got you. What do you need from me right now? Okay. Because she is not feeling safe. And so the more you can do that, it's like, I remember the first time I was doing a speaking engagement on camera. It was nerve-wracking, and I'm going into this hotel room and I'm about to start speaking, and literally, and this was when I just started my spiritual journey, and it was really crazy, and my legs were shaking, like, I mean, I was like coming off of my seat, right? I was so nervous, but I was luckily grounded enough in my tools that I scooped little Terri up, and I'm like, what's going on? Are you hurting? What's got you afraid? And I had a conversation with her. And she goes, I just, really need to get grounded. And so I was like, oh yeah, let's get grounded. And as soon as I got grounded and loved her and nurtured her, I went in there and just went, boom, nailed it. Right. And so it's really about you becoming that woman leader of love to the little girl, to be the divine mother to her. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting ready to read and you're like, okay, I really want to absorb this tonight or today, I don't want to run away. And you can tell her, this is what we're going to do. And if you're feeling like you need to run right now, I want you to know that you're safe. And then if you start finding yourself drifting, come back, feel your body, move your body, and then have that conversation again. Mm-hmm. So this is about really making a safe space, but you being in charge, not the little girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll try that.
Okay, good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
If you will mute yourself, that will be great.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lower your hand. Okay, guys. Well, we are going to, we're going to call it a day. I want us to just take a moment and just do a little mini closing meditation. So I want to invite you to close your eyes and breathe. Just take a moment and breathe. And whatever you were shifting today, I want you to imagine that the energy has made its way into a big rose, the stuff that you were letting go of. And not only is it just in your mind, the thoughts, but literally the energy in your body that's been stuck in places is moving, and it's moving into that rose. And even in your grounding underneath your feet, and all that old stuck energy is moving into that rose. And then I want you to imagine that that rose is going out into the universe and blowing up like confetti. We're sending it back with love. Then imagine that you are full of compassion and that you are walking through each day, holding that little kid by the hand, looking at her and saying, I love you. And your heart is so big and so open towards her. And she looks at you with the most loving eyes because she knows that she's safe, that she's loved, and she's protected by you. And then I want you to feel the energy of this as you walk through your day, the people you come into contact with. And I want you to feel yourself as that light of love, that you are just expanding your heart space even more. And you're seeing people through the eyes and the heart of compassion, because you see that they too hurt, that the little kid inside of them is stuck in a corner and they haven't made that connection. So see that and see yourself as that light. And let's just give thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for using us all as lights. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the love. And thank you for all of you who are here and who are so, so, so courageous to share your heart and to ask questions and to participate and truly be women leaders of love. So just thank you to all of you, sending each of you love. Let's all send love to each other. Feels so good. And then you can come back into this space. And I just want to say one last thing, that for anyone who's watching this via Facebook, I will come over and look at any questions that popped up there. If you would like to be on this Zoom call where you can ask questions and be here, then get my Women Leaders of Love ebook. My Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle is what it's part of, with 3 meditations. It's totally free, and it's going to tell you what we're about as Women Leaders of Love and some steps where you can really begin to shift into owning your worth and becoming that woman leader of love. So you can get it at terribritt.com/leaders. So thank you, everyone. I'll see you same time, same place next week. And if you have a question, guys, if you have a question or if you have a topic that you would like me to cover, like last week, one of the ladies we were talking about compassion, and that's where my heart came today. It was like, I want to really go deeper into this conversation. So if there's something that you have that you would like to have covered, send us a message. You can go on the Facebook feed, you can go on this feed and write it in, and I will do my darndest to cover it. So you guys have a wonderful week. Love you guys. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.